We are really starting a musical Mitten tradition here with having the last episode of our seasons be with us talking to an artist.
Which I really hope we manage to continue because it is probably my favorite part, as I always mention. Like, this is the reason I wake up and do this podcast every time.
And it's so much fun. And I've been so excited preparing for this one. Being able to talk to the artist, to have her on the show, really just brought this whole season together for me. And I feel like we're ending on a high note.
From Mackinac to Motown, from Muskegon to Madonna. I'm Maggie.
And I'm Bree. You're listening to The Musical Mitten.
I'm Kate Highnote, and I currently front, the Blue Flowers, the Kate Highnote Trio, and Kate Highnote and the Disasters. Those are the three main projects of mine. The one I'm most busy with, though, is the Kate Highnote Trio as far as gigging and recording. I record mostly with the Blue Flowers, but the trio have put out some things, too.
I had a professor who taught me music, and his name was Mr. Sang. Do you ever get, like, trouble or teasing for being, like, your last name being High Note?
No, most people just don't believe it's my real last name. And the way that people say it when they haven't heard it is pretty entertaining as well. But yeah, no, nobody makes fun, but it's always like, is that really your last name? They just don't believe it. And then I just always say, it's a really strange coincidence or fortunate coincidence, I guess. But yeah, it's High Note, and I do have to correct people a lot. There's people that have known me for years that will suddenly have to say it out loud and say it wrong, which is funny to me, but it's kind of the old joke, and it gets spelled wrong all the time. Highnote. Yeah.
I love that, though. I honestly was obsessed with the fact that my professors both went into, like, because they were a married couple and they were Mr. and Mrs. Sang, and
That's awesome. I mean, that's a great coincidence for sure.
I was also wondering, how do you balance your day job with your music? Like, you have a lot of different bands that you're involved with and a regular job.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm really lucky, first of all, that my boss is awesome and supports me being a musician and wants me to play and knows about work-life balance and all of that stuff. I'm very lucky in that sense. I'm sure there's a lot of people that aren't that lucky. But yeah, I'm a legal secretary, executive assistant. I work for lawyers all day, and it's really demanding work. And I balance it. I don't even know if I'm balancing it, if we're being honest. I might not be. But anyway, I'm lucky to have a supportive boss. Her name is Donna, and husband who I have a 10-year-old at home as well on top of it. So also my husband is super supportive, which makes me able to go and do the gigs and all of that stuff and the rehearsals. Plus, it helps that my husband is in the Blue Flowers. That's also, that makes that part a bit easier. And I guess it's the support system I have that even makes it possible, honestly. But me personally balancing it, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Do you think it's worth it?
Oh, yes, 100%. I get so much joy from performing, and it's really, I don't know if I could function without it. I don't think I could do the day job as much as I do if I didn't have something to balance that was creative and fulfilling in that sense. It's definitely worth it, all of it. I mean, I love my family, I love my bands, and I'm really bizarrely passionate about being a good secretary.
So about those bands, do you have like a favorite project that you've worked on in any of them?
I mean, that's like asking me to pick a favorite kid. I can't do that. No, they all have very different, they all have very different things that they bring to me creatively. The songwriting really started with the Blue Flowers. So that's always, it was with actually a band right before the Blue Flowers that Blue Flowers morphed into. Tony is my husband, Tony Hamera. We were in a shoegaze band called Ether Aura, and we started writing songs on that band. And then it transitioned into the Blue Flowers when we switched to a more alt-country type thing. And then that's morphed, and at one point we were going to change band names again, but we didn't. But anyway, that's the band where the songwriting started. And so for me, that's always going to be super special. Most of the stuff that I perform with the trio was written for that band. So yes, the Blue Flowers would always hold a special place for me for that reason. But once we were doing the Blue Flowers and I realized that the performing, like once I got a little more used to it, I mean, I can't say debilitated, but I mean, I had really terrible stage fright for a long time, years with the Blue Flowers. And then I actually started to like the performing part the most. And so I started doing the trio, Kate Hannah and the Disasters, which are three of us Blue Flowers, me, and then David Johnson, who plays acoustic, and Aaron Williams, who plays keys and sings. Anyway, so I did that, and that part is all about the harmonies, and I love singing with her. So, I mean, like, it brings me that part, getting to sing harmonies with somebody, and we were called Kate Hannah and the Disasters for a reason. Ridiculous fun. Just maniacs. It's amazing. Anyway, and then once Aaron moved away and I was, we were trying to add something to this duo that we were doing, David and I, who's been playing with me for like 14 years. Matthew kind of came along. They ran into each other somewhere, and Matthew offered to play violin, and I was just looking for something to add. And so then he came in, and he's a songwriter, and that collaboration has been really special for me and helpful to just kind of expand my creative process. Just writing with multiple people is just, it's different with everyone. So yeah, they're all special. They all bring different things. I love performing with the trio. It's so fun. We get great responses, and the violin, it's like a second voice. So it's like harmonizing, it's fun.
How would you like describe like your style? Like if it was just you?
If it was just me, oh, that's a good question. I thought you were just going to ask me to say a genre, and I can't do that. That's impossible. But if it was just me, oh, wow. Alternative, I'm a 90s chick at heart. 90s music that was where I really fell in love. I always liked music, but 90s was where I like fell in love with music. But I was introduced to older songwriters too, like Crosby, Stills and Nash and Joni Mitchell, and so I was introduced to people I should have already been well aware of. But in the 90s was when I really fell in love with that stuff. So yeah, alternative for sure. That's just the broad term. And then it's been said before in interviews and stuff, but there is just I'm drawn to the darker stuff of songwriting and conflict and the turmoil of interpersonal relations with anyone, not just romantic, but friendships and just general day-to-day dealing with people. There's just always so much to say about that.
I swear our music interests align so much. I think out of the two of us, which is surprising apparently because Maggie doesn't, like, she dresses more like she listens to alternative than I do. But alternative, especially 90s or like classic rock, or like what I grew up with my mom, and so that's always been like a special place in my heart. And I love the conflict, like you said. That's why lyrics are my favorite.
Oh yeah.
I do listen to some alternative stuff, but I've also been known to lean towards folk.
Yep.
Sure, yeah.
So I'm starting to get more into folk punk right now, actually.
Folk punk, all right.
I love that for you.
It's so much fun. It's a completely different genre than what I've like ever listened to, and I love it. But no, I love the way that you described that.
I think I ended up in the folky realm simply because of the instrumentation. Like, there's nothing particularly folky, maybe some songs here and there, but you kind of just get put into that realm because people just want this broad box to put around you. And so I do love it. I mean, obviously Crosby, Stills and Nash and Joni Mitchell. I mean, I love all of that. There's, I'm always looking for good melodies too. I'll sing any genre really, as long as there's a good melody. And I do love lyrics for sure.
And then we touched on it a little bit, but do you think your style changes, or do you like maintain two different styles when you work with other people?
I don't know if my style changes. I don't know. Actually, I guess I don't know the answer to that question. I think I'm pretty adaptable. So in addition to those three bands I listed, which really I haven't been active with the Disasters in a while, but we just started playing again this year. So it's three bands this year that I'm working with. In addition to that, I do a one-off tribute show every year called Cover Boy. Last year we did The Cars. The year before we did Duran Duran, which was the most fun I have ever had on stage in my life. Hands down. So fun. Anyway, I also do that. That's coming up. And so I get to explore all kinds of styles because of doing that I normally would not do. We typically drag one song from Cover Boy into what David and I are doing just because we learned them anyway. Might as well perform them. But I guess I do end up applying some sort of style to it, just with the way I sing maybe, and that it gets broken down into a more acoustic nature.
And then speaking of performing and stuff like that, just take it back a little bit. How did you overcome some of that performance anxiety on stage? Or what advice do you have for people trying to overcome the same thing?
It was just the number of gigs. So like one year we did so many, I eventually was like, oh, nothing has happened. Nothing terrible has happened. I think I might be okay now. It was just one particular year with the Blue Flowers. We played so much, it just kind of went away. I still get nervous now. The trio performed, God, was it last month? Yes, last month. And it had been 4 months since we'd played after playing 40 shows last year. So it had been 4 months. And I got so nervous. I mean, it was really bad. I don't know how you get past it. I mean, I did it for years and I always got through, and people would tell me, sometimes they were probably lying, but they would tell me I didn't seem nervous. So somehow I got through. But that's a mind over matter thing straight up. That's the only way you can get through it, is you have to make yourself. You have to do it scared. You have to do it scared, for sure.
I love that.
That might be my new catchphrase, though. Like, you have to do it scared. Like, just get past it.
Oh, then I have to give credit where credit's due, because I think I got that from Elise Myers.
I love her.
Do you guys know her?
Yeah. I love her.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
Yep. A few months ago, I think she said that. It was either do it scared. It might have been do it afraid, but I think it was do it scared.
That does sound familiar. Like you said, I was like, I feel like I've heard that somewhere.
I feel like I watched TikTok because of her. And that's it.
I don't have TikTok, but it's Insta for me. But yeah, I've seen so many comedians and just random people that I watch do their daily thing, which seems so weird. But anyway, that's a whole nother podcast.
I need a new creature, mirrors and dreams, enigmatically perfect, not at all what she seems, with a calculating mind, transportive to contact, a brand new species we want to attract, a new creature, a new creature, a new creature. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la la la. I want a new creature. Tell me what it all means. These truths, these illusions, these good and bad scenes. Just a lost planet eyes, my magazine lips. I'll stare. I don't care which way the current flips. With my new creature, with my new creature, with my new creature. La la la, 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 la la la. Give me a new creature to have and to hold in this place of indifference where lost souls are bought and sold. The story's so old and the facts don't add up. They just recklessly fascinate, unleash, and corrupt. My new creature, my new creature, my new creature. La la la, 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 la la la.
You've been listening to Kate Highnote here on the Musical Mitten. That was New Creature from the Kate Highnote Trio. Stay tuned for more. Here on the Musical Mitten, we really like trivia.
However, we also have a tendency to talk forever about the things that really interest us.
In an effort to solve this issue, we are giving ourselves exactly 1 minute.
Wherever we are when the timer goes off, we have to stop. Mid-sentence, mid-word, mid-chaos. That's it.
So, without further ado, welcome to the Mitten Minute. Change of plans.
Traditionally for the Mitten Minute, what we usually do is we have 1 minute total. This week, because it's our last episode, we're actually giving ourselves 2 minutes. They're going to be 2 separate minutes, but we had a couple of things that we realized we needed to discuss this episode. So here we go. Ready?
Set.
Go. What have been your favorite moments from doing the show so far?
I feel like you guys already know. My absolute favorite moments are always the moments when we're interviewing and talking with people and sharing their stories. They're just the best.
And along with that, I always love traveling.
Ooh,
for
yes.
the show.
It's bonus points if we get to travel and like see them perform and talk to them after or beforehand. Like just experiencing their energy while they're performing and also like who they are as a person, either on the stage or behind the stage or off the stage.
No, like definitely. Like I've been traveling for the show pretty much since season 1. We're at 19 seconds now. And as a part of that, it's been an honor. It's been so much fun. And I've been having the time of my life. And I'm so excited for what the future brings.
And a quick thanks to everybody who's ever had an interview with us and will have an interview with us because they're the best.
Time. And again, ready,
Set.
go.
All right, Mags, so what are your goals for next season?
So I don't know if we're actually going to say it during this episode, but officially this is the 40th episode of The Musical Mitten, which saying that out loud blows my mind.
I'm geeked, I swear.
And given that we are about to go into our senior year of college,
Oh my god, don't say it out loud. I hate it.
being that we're going into our senior year, we have 30 seconds on the clock. I feel like our goal, the goal that I want to hit is 50 episodes.
Oh, absolutely. I think we can make it.
I think so too. And I think as a part of that, we're going to do more of this where we reach out to people, where we get to have people on the show, hopefully do a bit more traveling as a part of it.
Yes.
I'm just looking forward to one last season before we graduate.
Maybe we'll hit someone big too.
Maybe we can go back on air.
Ooh.
Time. You've been listening to The Musical Mitten. I'm Maggie.
And I'm Bree. The Musical Mitten is a radio show turned podcast that started on WOCR 89.1 The One, Olivet College's own FCC licensed radio station, in the fall of 2021.
Our show explores Michigan music, which means we get to talk about the past and present of the state's music. In doing so, we've been able to meet artists from all across the state.
If you want to get involved, please feel free to fill out the forms listed at the bottom of our website at themusicalmitten.com.
For the last episode of this season of The Musical Mitten, we're talking with Kate Highnote of the Kate Highnote Trio, the Blue Flowers, and more. Hear more of her story right now, here on The Musical Mitten. Speaking of performances, is there anywhere that you just love performing? Is there anywhere that almost feels like home in terms of a performance?
Oh, man. I've played so many places home. I mean, I've played a lot at the Caju, I would say. The Caju Cafe in Detroit. We do Cover Boy there, and I've played there with every band I've ever had, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, that one's cozy for me. It's strange because, again, just like with how the bands all offer something different, each gig offers something different. So like sometimes you'll just play a restaurant and you'll set up in a corner and play for a long time for people that are eating and talking, and or some people that really, are there for music. I mean, it's just a very, you never know. And some of those are cozy just because they're comfortable and there's not a lot of pressure. But then there's other places that, I mean, I love performing at the Trinity House in Livonia. We're going to be going back to a couple places this year that we've played. The Lark Theater in Sheboygan is beautiful, and that's a really intimate listening room, and the heat is on. I mean, like you have to be, they're close to you and can see you, and you can see them, and they're all looking at you and paying attention. So listening rooms are really delightful, but can also be a little nerve-wracking.
Do you have any, big or small goals that you're working towards at the moment?
Big goal right now is recording the second album for the trio. We have 4 songs done, finalized totally, and then one that's almost done that we'll probably start playing live within the next month, hopefully. So we've got some progress made towards that, and we want to get that finished up, but songwriting is slow going for me. It takes me a long time. I've put out a lot of stuff, but I've been doing it over a long time. So yeah, that part of the process is slow for me, not because I don't like it, but it sounds, I don't know, it sounds weird to say, but it doesn't come as naturally to me as just the singing part.
I get that, though. Sometimes it's easier to just get it out there rather than to have to put it on a page.
Right. I mean, I love that part because I am so satisfied when I come up with something that I end up liking or, I think it turned out all right. But Yeah, it takes me a while. So yeah, that's my biggest goal right now is getting that album done. We really want to put out another record. The last one that we put out was March of 21, so it's over at this point, is overdue. And then my just never ending goal is to be heard. I mean, I just want the work that we put into it and the passion that we have for it to be heard and witnessed by other people. So I spend a lot of time booking gigs and trying to expand my playing radius so I can meet more people.
Speaking of gigs, where are you going to be playing next?
Oh, so next up, there's so many. I meant to have a list in front of me and I don't. Next up is, I don't know when this will air, but we're going to be or when this will come out, but we'll be in Royal Oak this Friday at Edo Ramen. That's one of those restaurant spaces where you get some people that could care less and other people that are there to see you and you have a nice balance. After that, we'll be in Lexington, Michigan, at a place called 3 North. After that is the Congregation in Detroit. That's May 13th. And then there's kind of some big ones. Those are they're gigs, but I mean, like, those are the lead up to, we're going to be at Speakeasy Lounge in Grand Rapids on Wednesday, May 17th for a Local Spins event. The last one of that series, but that's leading into the Local Spins Fest that weekend in Grand Rapids, which is huge. And then there's just so many. I'm booked all the way through October. May 20th. Where am I going to be May 20th? Oh, the Skyline Event Center. That's it. That's a big one. The Skyline Event Center in Cummins. That one I'm super excited about. That was just, it's fun when you reach out and then they say yes and they want to have you. That's always a delight to be told yes and not ignored. That's a big one coming up though. And then our first stop in Frankenmuth is the following day. And then it just keeps going all through June, July. It's nuts.
You're going to be in Frankenmuth on the 21st?
Yeah. But yeah, Frankenmuth was just another, happenstance. I was trying to fill something on that date on the way back from the Skyline Event Center and Prost Wine and Charcuterie. So that's what we'll be on the 21st for brunch, 2 to 5.
Good to know.
Yeah. But yeah, I have a listing on my website. My website's just katehighnote.com. And there's a page that says appearing live. And they're all listed there. Just so many. I think there's 20 for the trio so far. It's fun.
Is there anything else that you'd like to add that we haven't asked you yet?
Well, I appreciate you guys even doing it. I mean, that's the thing. It's like there are so many people making music here. I mean, so many. And I am competitive. I mean, you have to be a little bit just to do it, but I'm not particularly competitive. Like, I do think there's enough for everyone to get like good opportunities, but it is hard to be, even locally. I mean, I've been playing in this town, in the Detroit area for 15 years or something now. And I'm still trying to find people to listen, and that, it's nice to have any sort of spotlight at all. I mean, put on you so that you can find more ears and get people to come to your shows and connect with. And it's nice. So thank you.
And that's been the beauty of our show too, is we've been able to meet so many people and find so much music.
I think my favorite part is connecting and getting to share the stories and promoting people who, like you said, like may normally have a harder time getting people to listen. But I don't know, they just have such great stories to tell. Like, every single person that we've gotten to talk to has never left us feeling like, oh, we shouldn't have done that. Like, it's always been amazing.
That would be terrible.
Yeah,
that's nice. That's good that it's all worked out well.
Well, thank you so much.
That was Time Didn't Matter from the Blue Flowers' Time Didn't Matter album. Thank you so much for tuning in to Kate High Note here on The Musical Mitten.
You've been listening to The Musical Mitten. This past season has been quite the adventure.
We've met so many people and we've done so many new things.
And really, it's not over yet. Keep an eye on our Instagram and Twitter at TheMusicalMI for behind-the-scenes content.
Keep an eye on our website too, themusicalmitten.com. That's TheMusicalMitten.com. By the time this episode airs, we should have a storefront up where you'll be able to get your own The Musical Mitten stickers.
Our website has all of our past episodes, radio show, and podcast, as well as more information that you might not get just by listening to us.
This might be the end of this season, but stay tuned and we'll keep you posted on what's happening next here on The Musical Mitten.